He wore the shirt everyone holds in their head when they think of Argentine genius, the No.10, and for 30 minutes the world watched not just a debut, but the hint of a changing of the guard. Franco Mastantuono arrived in Europe with headlines attached to his name, a teenager who left River Plate for Real Madrid and immediately carried the sort of expectation that normally takes years to build. Last night, in the final World Cup qualifying fixture against Ecuador, with Lionel Messi absent, coach Lionel Scaloni made a choice that was as symbolic as it was practical. Give the shirt to a young man barely out of adolescence and see how he holds both the number and the pressure. What followed wasn't a viral one-moment explosion or a tidy highlight reel. It was a composed, ready-for-battle cameo that said as much about Argentina's future as it did about the player himself. Mastantuono came on with the match slipping away, with Argentina chasing an equaliser in an intense environment, and yet he didn't look like someone overwhelmed by the myth stitched into his back. Instead, he showed poise on the ball, a willingness to take responsibility in tight spaces, and flashes of creativity that reminded viewers why Real Madrid paid to bring him to Spain. Those 30 minutes were his first chapter in a new book, a Bernabeu chapter and a national team chapter that may intertwine in ways fans are only beginning to imagine. The real story here isn't merely the shirt, it's the message. Scaloni didn't hand out numbers for novelty. In a moment where the greatest No.10 of a generation was resting, the coach entrusted a successor type with the symbol of playmaking leadership, and football's attention turned to what that trust might mean. Is this a trial run, a ceremonial passing, or the opening salvo of a long process that will see Argentina transition to a different style LED by different feet? That question will be argued in pundit rooms, in social feeds and in stadium stands, but the immediate takeaway is simple. Argentina is already planning for tomorrow while still honouring today. For Real Madrid, the implications are immediate and practical. A young signing carrying that kind of international responsibility accelerates expectation at club level. Coaches will weigh whether to protect the talent, integrate him slowly, or throw him into high-stakes fixtures where his temperament will be tested weekly. Madrid fans will watch him in training clips and friendlies, not just as another prospect, but as a player whose national team role could influence tactical decisions in Chamarte. Opponents across La Liga and Europe will begin to note his tendencies, the way he drifts into pockets between midfield and attack, the confidence in his passing under pressure, the suddenness of his forward bursts, and defensive plans will adapt. Off the pitch, the narrative races ahead too. Comparisons to Argentina's greats are inevitable but unfair. Instead, the right conversation is about identity. Mastantuono brings a mix of River Plate schooling, the hunger of a teenager keen to make his mark, and the spotlight that only a move to Real Madrid can provide. How he channels that will determine whether the No.10 becomes a burden or a beacon. There's also the elephant in the room, Lionel Messi's future. With Messi absent from this fixture and with ongoing questions about his international longevity, every moment anointed to a young playmaker is read through the prism of succession. Fans who loved the Messi era will understandably measure the newcomer against impossible standards, but football history shows that eras don't transfer overnight. They unfold with patience, missteps, and moments of inspiration. What last night offered was a glimpse. Mastantuono can be part of that unfolding story. For neutral observers, what makes the scene compelling is the collision of theatre and reality. A teenager in a sacred shirt is headline-friendly. What will ultimately decide the tale is consistency. Will Mastantuono return for more national minutes, and can he convert flashes into sustained influence? Will Real Madrid shield him until the right moment, or will they trust him in tougher fixtures that test his decision-making under fatigue and expectation? The coming months will answer those tactical and temperament tests. Tonight's footage will simmer online for days, clips of the number, the first touches, the body language, but let's not mistake spectacle for finished product. This is the beginning of a process, and processes are often messy, exciting and uneven. For Argentina, the move signals preparedness, a manager thinking beyond headlines and into squad planning. For Madrid, it is the external confirmation that their investment has international validation. And for the player himself, it is both an invitation and a gauntlet. An invitation to belong among the world's best, and a gauntlet laid down by history that will test his character as much as his technique. So when you see the highlight reels and the social stream fills with "he wore Messi's number" soundbites, remember the deeper line. Last night was not an answer, but the first sentence of an answer. If Franco Mastantuono wants to turn that sentence into a paragraph, then a chapter, then a legacy, he'll need to keep showing the same calm urgency he showed in those 30 minutes, to create, to take responsibility, and to invite the football world to stop seeing him as a novelty and start seeing him as a leader in his own right.